Up? What is up, everyone? Man, this is bright. We got three lights going on right now. I didn't realize it was this bright and whatnot, but it's all good. So, I think it's interesting because today I was driving around and I'm going down the roadway and I'm looking and I'm seeing billboards. And so uh, it just gave me this thought. I was like, man, because if you're driving so fast and there's this billboard, you may not catch it. And so I was talking to Garrett on this one, and he's like, well, it's that quick aspect that you may see it and it has that connection. And so when you come across something for that brand potentially, it will click and be like, man, I saw something like this. I don't remember what it was, but that commercial's having something to click. But I look at it and I'm like, why would somebody want to spend money towards a static display like that? Because I I look at it, I'm like, if you're driving so fast, and there's a lot of times that I'm so zoned out too, listening to podcasts, music, and whatnot, that driving by those billboards, I may not notice. And so maybe I'm just that 1% of people that it's like, whatever, we're going to do what I'm going to do and whatnot. But I looked at it because the cost for a billboard, depending on where it's at, it's between $750 to $14,000. And I look at it and I'm like, you 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 could use that for something else, and it goes in regards to the aspect of using social media to your advantage because it is a platform that's free. Of course, with social media you can pay for ads and that costs that way and whatnot, but I'm like, why not take that money and use it towards something that's going to probably be more advantageous and be more beneficial to you as an individual? So maybe you take that money that you would spend monthly on the billboard and throw it into enhancing your website, or maybe you use that money to go pay somebody that can help with social media strategies, marketing, SEO, anything like that. But it got me thinking because it's like, it's such a, I don't even know what the percentage of return on that is, because when I look at it, when you're driving really quick, you don't notice that, but I don't know, maybe you have your kids in the car and whatnot, and they made it very colorful and it sticks out, and your kids are like, "Yay, look at that!" and they're all freaking out. I don't know, but it's the same thing because a couple weeks ago I came out of the mall and in my on my windshield underneath the wiper blade there was a postcard from a realtor that was talking about normal transactions for selling a home cost you 6%. I can do for you for 4%. I didn't look at the whole thing, so I don't know what agency or what brokerage that came from. But I was like, man, this is something that you may get 2% return on that investment of you spending all that money on those flyers and whatnot. And so it's, I look at it, I'm like, there's so many different ways that you can stand out and stick out and really make an impact. And the biggest thing is social media. We've got to understand that you have this platform, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok's starting to blow up. I know people that are like, I don't even understand what I'm doing, but let me get in here. Supposedly, I was reading an article. This lady called herself a TikTok stalker, and she was watching everybody else. She posted a video and she said the next morning she woke up and she had 12,000 new followers, and the video that she had posted had over 1 million views. So I don't know what the video was and all that fun stuff, but I don't know. We have Gary here. Marketing is so different now. What worked before social media isn't really beneficial now. That's true. But this kind of goes into what really encapsulates this, and it's that fear aspect, the fear of change. And so I went and, of course, had to do some research here. I look at it that fear is really holding you back if you do. But this is from Psychology Today, and this was written back on September 18th, 2018. So 2.5 years ago. And so we fear change because we can't anticipate the outcome. So that's a huge one right there, because people are like, I don't want change to happen because I don't know what's gonna take place when it occurs. So now they're causing themselves anxiety with things that they can't control. And change is inevitable. Change is the only consistent thing in any of our lives that's always taking place and whatnot, as this flips on me. So, however, staying put can be riskier than changing. Think about that. Staying put can be riskier than changing. Why do you think if you stay put, it's going to be riskier than changing? I look at it and they talk about this a little bit, but if you miss out on accepting that change, you miss out on the opportunity to grow and progress and really overcome the joys of life of being that obstacle. And the obstacles really are there to test you and push you and help you progress and get ready for that next level. If you look at it that way, somebody could look at the obstacle and be like, man, this is going to suck. And so you have that chance where that obstacle could potentially crush you and you end up letting it control the situation instead of pushing back and doing what you can. Whether it's in your career or relationship, you risk being left behind if you don't continue to grow. The paradox is that although we reject uncertainty, that's kind of funny. So we reject uncertainty, we have the skills to change and evolve. We all have the potential to accept the challenge, accept that change, and grow with it and start incorporating that change to benefit us, whatever it is. Fear is an emotion that gets in the way. We lose clarity about our potential. So, man, that right there, that fear aspect, by losing your clarity of the potential you possess, that could be impactful on you. And it goes into, and Garrett's gonna love this. It goes into the aspect of the autopilot programming that we have. And so we get into it and we start doing something over and over again. Maybe you have somebody that's been in a job 10 years and they get so ingrained that it's been this way. And so it's like water. Water is going to go with the path of least resistance. And so it's the same thing here with getting ingrained and doing the same thing over and over again and not questioning and not saying, is there a way that we could do this at a better point, a better speed, create that progression for us? I think I just repeat myself. It's good time. But it's one of those things that it's, man, how can we make this change? How can we embrace this change that's going to bring forth the progression that we need to help create that growth that we need? And it's just a different perspective. It's a way to look at it differently. But it goes into the fact of when we hear the word change, we start freaking out. And it's the whole paradigm of the looking at the word and having that negative connotation. Same thing with the idea of failure. And so we have this idea that failure is a bad thing. It depends. It depends. But ultimately, failure is not a bad thing. Failure is needed to help you grow and to stretch you and to, it could potentially help break down the steps and find out what you did wrong to change that and move forward, going forward with a different perspective, a different idea that you can incorporate to bring about whatever that is. Let's see, Garrett here. It becomes comfortable change, then it's uncomfortable. But growth happens with uncomfort, growing pains. We got a lot of comfortables here. It becomes comfortable change, then is uncomfortable, but growth happens with uncomfort, growing pains. And yeah, I think, man, because we look, think about a pearl and an oyster. That oyster changes that grain of sand that is an irritant. And over time, it has that coating to help the reduction of the irritant that's taking place. And then it produces that pearl. But it had to go through that extreme irritant, that extreme pain that maybe you're dealing with it and you don't like it, but it has to take place because that's going to allow you to have that beautiful growth and have a beautiful outcome. The funny thing is, I was in a office hours with John Kim today. John Kim runs the Journey Intensive with Noel Cordeaux, but he also has his podcast. He's got a couple, but the one is The Angry Therapist. And I'm blanking on what I was going to bring here, so gotta love it. But he was talking about, somebody was asking him. He's written 2 books. I think he's written 2 books. But he was talking about the fact that it's kind of like a pregnancy. He's a guy, so I'm a guy. I've never been pregnant. So anybody that's watching this, female wise, that you've been pregnant, it's one of those things that your body goes through the changes. Your body goes through the struggle of maintaining that life, and then after 9 months, the baby's born, and it's beautiful, baby. It's beautiful because it's new life. And so it's the same thing here with the change piece. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be comfortable. But in the end, if you can overcome that and stick it out and understand that change is the only consistent in life, you're going to have something at the end that is a beautiful outcome. It's created beautiful results, and it's just giving you something that you can be excited about, because now you've got something that's progressing you and pushing you. And thinking about that, there is a new app that I've seen multiple times through Facebook scrolling. It's studio.fm or studio.com. It's an app you can download. And so it's a unique thing. I used it tonight for the first time. And so there is a recording out there on this app, and it was an hour and 12 minutes long. So I got paired with some stranger I didn't know. She's a lady out in California, and that conversation, like, I didn't know what to expect from it. But as I'm waiting to get paired, I'm looking and it says, continue to talk to your audience. And I really wasn't paying attention. So I sent the audio over to Garrett, and the first 30, 45 seconds of the audio, it's silence because it's me. And I'm like, and then I can hear her, and she's like, hello? And I was like, hello? And so it's one of these things that it's a new app. And so I have to get used to it. It's a change in compared to doing the lives and the podcast piece of recording and doing that. This is another unique piece, but it's changed. It's a new platform that I've never used before, and so excited to just grow on that. And so that is another application that for podcasters, content creators, maybe something to look at. Go and experience something different. Go have a new experience in life, because that's what it's for, is to have those experiences and to grow. And when when it comes to the idea of change, this comes from Unlearn. So it's another book of many that I've read. And this is by Humble the Poets, 101 Simple Truths for a Better Life, in here, and it's within the chapter that is celebrate your scars. Change is scary. So what? Do you want to avoid scary things so you can arrive at death safely? So we come across the idea of death, which nobody wants to talk about death, even though that is the inevitable piece of being a human, being born. You're born and you're gonna die. When that's gonna happen, who knows? But it's true. Like, do you want to end up getting to the end of your life? You're on your deathbed, and you've decided to tiptoe through life because you don't want to deal with change, and you're resistant to change, and so you're tiptoeing through life trying to protect yourself, but you're missing out on a lot. And you got to look at it. Do you want to get to your deathbed, be at the end of your life, and look back and like kick yourself in the butt because you had missed out on an opportunity, because it was going to require you to change. It was going to require change to take place in some form or fashion. And so think about that. I know it's morbid, and you're envisioning yourself on your deathbed and really just seeing, how would you feel? Like, when you really do this, how would you feel knowing that you're getting ready to leave this earth, and you're on your deathbed and you're looking back, and maybe last week you had something that was shown your way, or you had an idea that had populated and shown up in your spirit, your mind, and you're thinking about it, and you're like, that's stupid. Or maybe you're thinking about it, and this idea you go share with somebody that is a person that small dreams very small, or they've given up on their dreams, and so their dreams is in a box. So we could say this is the box that that person has decided to put their dreams in. You can see it's an open back here, even though on the front, great thing here. So we're gonna use this for the example, but we have an individual that has received this box and they've been told, give up your dreams, put them in this box, put a lid on it, hammer it down, never to be opened again. Let's go put it up on a shelf, never see the light of day. And then they go through life sad and upset because their dreams have left them and they boxed them up and they were a jerk to their dreams and they said goodbye, dreams. So you, on the other hand, have had a dream, a vision, a thought, an idea that has come to you. And so you talk to this person that whenever they gave up on their dreams and their dreams sitting in this box up on the shelf, and you go tell this person about your dreams and vision, and they look at you and they're like, you can't do it. Or you need to think logically, and nobody's done it before in your family. Nobody of your friends have done it before. So what tells you you're going to succeed? What tells you that you're going to overcome and have success? And now you're on your deathbed and you're looking back at that time and you're thinking and you're like, man, what could have happened had I gone after it? What could have taken place for my life, for my family, for the legacy that has been developed, or my family tree? And what if I would have gone after it? What would have come out of it? What good would have come out of it? Or whose life could I have impacted? Because I decided to go after this dream and this vision and see it come to fruition. But it goes into play of the idea of change. It requires change is going to have to take place. Change is there. And so maybe you have to change your perspective. Maybe you have to change your friends. Maybe you have to change your social circle and start cutting out people that have taken space in your mind and they're not paying rent. There's nothing that they're being charged, and they've gotten into your mind and have spoken these negative stories, and you've believed them. Now, let's say you decide to do the change, go with the change, you audit, and you don't let these people just get into your mind rent free. You have them either pay up or you get rid of them and you start creating another social circle. What would happen if you went with that change? It's probably not the the thought you want to have. It's probably not a thought that is enticing, but it's true life. It's a true question. It's something that you really have to think on. Think about the legacy. You're probably going to be planting seeds in a garden that you'll never see what grows out of it. You may be long gone before fruits have grown from your labor. So just something to think about. Change, how it's the consistent, and really this change idea really has come from driving down the road today, looking and seeing billboards, and it's like we got to change. AKA use social media to your advantage and share your story, share your message, let people know your true self, and let people get to know the actual soul and spirit that's running the business. Let people know who you truly are and what drives you and what you're just excited about, and just provide that value because you never know who you may come across, who you may impact based on that message that you share, the story that you share, and just that message that they need. So you've got to take the spotlight off of yourself, put it on other people, and just go and do it. So other than that, like if you have anything, if you truly do have a vision, a dream, something that you're passionate about, and you just don't know how to get there, you feel like you're stuck, you're in a rut, send myself, send Patrick, send Garrett's private message, and there's plenty of other people that would love to sit down and help you out. But sometimes you got to get out of your own way. And as I talked about last night, you're limited by your experiences. You're limited by your lenses that you're looking at and seeing life. And so maybe you need somebody that is not part of your normal social circle, that's completely outside of it, that can give you a very neutral perspective, ask those questions that need to be asked, and just do what you need to. But with this video, share it with people that need to hear the message, share it with people that you don't know if they need to hear the message. Just share away. So I appreciate your guys' time. I appreciate your guys' support. Have a great night. I'll catch you guys later. Love you. Peace. Have a great night.